And we're about 5 miles northwest of downtown Tampa at beautiful Raymond James Stadium near Florida's Gulf Coast. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the San Francisco 49ers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And they'll go on the ground. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. Well, so much for picking it up on the ground on 3rd down. 3rd play of the drive, and this defense showing strong early.
I wonder how much of that was scouting. I wonder how much of that was a gut feeling like, okay, let's just go ahead and sell out here and get after them, thinking they're going to run the football and stuff them early, because they've now set the tone. They've set a precedent right here. If you're going to try and run the ball against us, it could be hard going throughout this game.
Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 22.
Here we go, even.
Now the first carry for Ronald Jones. And some room to run now. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a 1st.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. It's Vontae Davis, the Pro Bowler, in on the stop.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. On 3rd down, Winston. Open man has got it. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd. A give to Jones. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. On second down, it's Jones. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Hey, let's go, let's go. Sonic. 48,
Working out of the gun, Winston. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. DeForest Buckner. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down. And Catanzaro's kick is right through, and the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Own side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And able to get it across the 10 to the 15. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to him. 11 yards and a 1st down. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out. From the gun, Winston. Being chased out left. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. Shane Ray in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
They've got to do a better job up front and create some space because they're right there, almost literally on their own goal line.
Just a couple of feet away from a safety. That could have been disastrous. Take it at the 37. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all. And let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice. So they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
A really nice gain of 25 yards. Garoppolo now, 1st down throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Back to 80! 65.
And they'll run it here. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. They get it to him running left. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Not only was that a terrific play, but that loss of yardage they created this close to their own goal line, that gives them a little breathing room now as they move them back.
And they're breathing fire a little bit right now, aren't they?
A lot of confidence being shown by them at this point of the game.
This is caught. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Marquise Goodwin, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Niners are able to cash in for 6. Gold now out to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Ready. Hey. 5 on the 50. 5 on the 50.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Off the play fake, Winston. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Winston from the gun on 3rd down. And that's incomplete. And give credit to Reuben Foster, the linebacker, getting a hand in to disrupt.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now a handoff looking right. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Play action. Now Garoppolo. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. So the sack of Garoppolo. And now what can they come up with on 3rd and long?
11, 13.
From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And down he'll go at the 25. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it second and a foot or so.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Now Jameis on second down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. Winston now to throw on first down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a gain of 9 yards. And it'll be second and about a yard. Throwing. Winston. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. On first and 10, Winston. Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7.
Even.
Play fake. Winston sliding out of the pocket. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A familiar ring to that one. Winston to Evans for the Buccaneer first.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he was able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Hey, let's go. Hey, sub. Let's go.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And they drop him for a loss, but penalty markers are on the field. Let's see about the call. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. Again, it's Winston. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll throw again. Winston. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This will be from 56 yards out. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down.
We got three, fellas. We got three. Even.
Final play of the half here. Winston. Looking downfield for Godwin. And got his man complete. And he will finally be taken out of bounds. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting 49ers on top. As we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the 3rd quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. The second half starts with a carry by Jones. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. 2nd down, Winston. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't, because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can scheme a guy open. You put the receivers in a bunch. Maybe you move some motion. Maybe you put him on the backside of a formation, and all of a sudden you've got a better matchup. Every now and then, the offensive guys, they figure a way to get him open, even with everyone keeping eyes on him.
And that's certainly a guy they want to keep trying to scheme open. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. Oh, I can't hang on to it. Almost intercepted. They would have loved the first pick of the game there, but at least it does get him to 4th down. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Tampa Bay. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here and right now.
13.
Garoppolo to throw on 2nd down. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. The Niners on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
On that play, it was the defensive front that won the battle. They out-leveraged the offensive line, got into the backfield, and held them to no gain.
Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Now a second down throw for Winston. Throw left side complete. It's Mack. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. First target, first catch, and a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Let's go, let's convert, let's convert. Green, triple team. Here we go, even. Flags that up. Flags that up.
They go play action here on first down. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly second and long. Winston. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's able to get up here to the 26. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Steps away to his left. Fighting to stay upright. But in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. DeForest Buckner in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. Here's Brian Anger now. He's been terrific so far. Taken in at the 22. A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And the Niners set up well. They take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the outcome.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
What part do they went empty set there? No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Winston now after the fumble recovery. And he's got the hook up here to Deshaun Jackson. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. 23 yards on the play. Jameis now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. The give is to Jones. Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they've dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
11.
Now Garoppolo throwing on second. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build.
And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. Eli Harold able to get him down for a loss of 11 on the play, and it'll be fourth down. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. With it is Jackson. Good footwork at the 30. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that, because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first. Jameis to throw it. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. Touchdown, Tampa Bay! Deshaun Jackson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Bucs are able to strike for 6. Great corner route there, not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And good field position coming up here. The football at the 12-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. To throw is Winston. A dump underneath to Jones. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Back now in Tampa. It's been a good one so far, just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. The Bucs on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Working out of the gun, Winston. And that is incomplete.
Well, that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And that will push the lead up to 12-7. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. And he fires one that's intercepted. Carlton Davis picks it, and he'll take this back down inside the 20. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance.
And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. Shane Ray in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long.
We got 3, fellas, we got 3. Sonic! Let's convert.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. And San Francisco gets set to go here. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Buying time to his left. Now he'll let it go deep. He's got him in, complete. And he's brought down after a good game. That goes for a gain of 31. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. He got 29 yards that time. The backup, Rob Kelly, his first carry. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
21. Here we go. Come on, fellas, here we go.
Now they try the right side here. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. A great effort there. His second touchdown on the season. And the 49ers move back within a couple of the lead. All right, now what can the Niners do as they face a big two-point conversion here? They'll try and run it in. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. But he is not going to make it. It's a big play by the defense, and they're going to hold on to their two-point lead. Fielded about a yard deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Follow. Let me go.
Jameis now on first down. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Winston. And a hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. From the gun, Winston. Right side caught by Jackson. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on for the 5th time here today. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Tampa Bay. And now on 4th and 1, it's a fake. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. Well, the fake punt gets only a yard, but that's enough to pick up the first. So they snap it straight to the up man. What's his responsibility? Normally, obviously, just to protect, but he's got to be a guy that can be pretty agile too, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, because you're talking about a guy, even in protection, he may have to slide up and down the line of scrimmage to pick up someone who comes through trying to block a punt. So you know he's got that ability to move. But oftentimes it's usually a running back, a fullback, someone who's used to having the ball in their hands, and he's able to pick up the first down.
Here's a give to Jones running left. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. And now the 49ers signal for a timeout defensively as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
Let's go. Let's convert. Green, triple C. Boys, hot.
Again, it's Jones. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. And the 49ers going to take another timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. They'll try and run for it with Jones. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
Yeah, they practice this all the time.
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect. Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the 1st down. That's what's vital to them.
They'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Under pressure, and down he goes in the end zone, and that's a safety. And that disastrous play partner is ultimately going to seal their fate in this one, isn't it?
It certainly is, because they gave up the 2 points, but that's not really what did it. It's having to give up the football. And because they gave up the football, guess what? The other 2 now can take the ball and close this game out.
Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. Now Jones. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. It doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
A big gain there, and that should certainly be enough to put this one in the win column.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Winston will kneel down, and that should be your ball game. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory. So for the Bucs, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Niners, they'll drop down to 1-3. And fortunately for them, they'll have the early